main problems I've always had with Michael Jordan is that he's never done any charity work in the black community. He's never done any activism. He's always been a selfish person. I think when you got that type of money and power, I think you have an obligation to give back to your community. One of the things I respect about LeBron James has always been involved in the black community. He's always been doing charity work. He's always been involved in activism. During the Trayvon Martin murder, LeBron spoke out against the injustice. He spoke out against George Zimmerman. He even helped rally some of the rallies during the trial. This is something that Michael Jordan would have never done. Michael Jordan has never got involved in activism. And I think when you have that type of money and power, that's extremely selfish to not get involved in the activism in your own black community. That's why some people have called Michael Jordan an Uncle Tom. Because he's never done anything for black people in the black community. I'm not going to take anything away from him as a basketball player. We all know he was a great basketball player. But off the court, he's never done anything to help his own community. The same thing with O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson may have been a great football player, but off the court, he never did any activism in the black community. So I put Michael Jordan in the same category as O.J. Simpson. I put him in the same category as Barry Bonds. Because these are the certain type of black athletes that don't give a damn about the black community. That don't give a damn about black people. And LeBron James is the complete opposite of that. That's what I've always respected about LeBron James. Every time a pair of Jordans comes out, black people start acting a fool. They will fight each other over a pair of shoes. They will kill each other over a pair of shoes. It makes no logical sense. I know some black people that don't even got a car, and they will spend $200 on a pair of Jordans. It makes no sense. Black people need to start looking at what's important and what's not so important. It only costs $5 to make Jordans overseas. And he's selling them for $200 in the U.S. Michael Jordan is laughing at black people. And most black people are so ignorant, we don't even realize it. This is why I would never buy a pair of Jordans, and I never have bought a pair of Jordans. Black people need to wake up and look at reality. Stop idolizing these material things. These material things don't mean anything. If you're willing to fight over a pair of shoes, you are a damn fool. When I see these news reports showing crowds of black people fighting over shoes, it just makes, it's embarrassing. Because they're making all black people look bad. Every time white people look at the news and they see all this ignorance, these crowds of black people fighting over a pair of shoes, this makes us all look bad. This gives them all they need to stereotype all black people. This is why we got to wake up and realize that Michael Jordan doesn't give a damn about us, so we shouldn't give a damn about Michael Jordan.
We begin with stampedes and scuffles today at shopping malls around the nation. People are clamoring for the release of the Air Jordan 11. It's an athletic shoe, but only a limited number are available, and it's leading to scenes of unruly crowds. Police in North Carolina had to break up fights at a mall while people waited to buy the shoes. This was just before dawn. When mall doors opened, crowds of people pushed their way in. And outside the Foot Locker store on the second floor, some shoppers started jumping the line while others at the back surged forward. And shoppers rushed the entrance of a mall in Indianapolis, Indiana. Some people's shoes fell off. Others fell down in the mad rush and then got run over by the crowds. The front doors to the mall were ripped off the hinges. Here in Northern California, problems developed at several malls, including Hilltop in Richmond, where 2,000 people turned out, only to be turned away when gunfire rang out and the sale was called off. Gil Diaz is in Richmond with the very latest. Gil?
Hi, Grace. Good afternoon. Yeah, we're standing outside Hilltop Mall. It officially opened at 10 o'clock this morning. I just spoke with the Richmond police. Now, they say that the stores or the shoe stores that carry the Air Jordans at this mall are supposed to start selling them again this noon. That's if they have any. Now, the reason they're selling them at noon is because they stopped selling them around 6:30 this morning when an alleged gunshot went off on that crowd. But everything is okay now. But no one imagined, no Northern California mall, not even the workers themselves, thought that this would get out of hand this much. But you know what? As you can see here, we've also seen that a lot of shoppers are still here. I haven't been able to ask them whether they've been able to grab or nab their Air Jordans, but a lot of them are doing their last-minute Christmas delivery. But you know, even though this opens at 10 o'clock, those 2,000 woke up around midnight, coming out here at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, fighting the crowds, fighting the police, fighting the security mall just to nab a pair of shoes. Now, like you mentioned, Grace, this is a retro black patent leather white shoes that is supposed to be a limited edition, and some of these stores don't even have enough for everyone to go around. And here's the chaos that happened earlier today.
Whoa, let me wipe them.
This is what the hype is all about. Limited edition retro white and black patent leather Air Jordans.
I had to get them for somebody, you know. If I can't have them, then my brother can have them then.
The $180 shoes are so hot, some shoppers decide to wait more than 6 hours in line in the frigid temperatures just to nab a pair.
First, we went to Hillsdale Mall. There was 150 people out there, 36 pairs. They gave us a number, and it's going to be a raffle. That's some bull.
The demand became too intense at some shopping malls, like the Webertown Mall in Stockton, where crowds squeezed through doors. At the Bayfair Center in San Leandro, a rowdy crowd of 200 people broke down the entrance doors. In San Bruno, at the shops at Tanforan, police forced crowds to back up and form a single line after some people pushed and shoved their way to the front.
This is how the line's supposed to look. And it wasn't looking like that earlier. It was, bunched up. Everybody was everybody was in a bum rush.
At the Hilltop Mall in Richmond, where police say about 2,000 people gathered outside, an alleged gunshot went off.
And out of nowhere, we just hear a pop. And there was like cops all over the floor, like guarding people.
Until the cops started running over to a guy and get that gun.
That incident forced mall personnel to stop selling the shoes, which infuriated the crowd even more.
Everybody was looking for a entrance to go in.
No one was hurt during the incident, but a suspect is reportedly in custody. All of this turmoil over a pair of shoes.
Hey, this is Jordan.
As for that gunshot outside this mall, I just spoke with Richmond police. They do confirm it was a gunshot. Some people thought it was just firecrackers going off, but it was a gunshot. No one was hurt. They do have a 24-year-old Richmond man in custody. He did have that gun, and it was not registered to him. Grace?
Gil, I noticed a lot of younger people buying these shoes. Do any of them even remember when the first pair came out 15 years ago?
That's a funny question, because I know a lot of these people were teenagers. A lot of them saying, when I was younger, I used to have these shoes, and I'm thinking, you're probably 2-3 years old. But yeah, even though Michael Jordan isn't even playing ball yet, I guess a lot of them, no matter how old you are, consider him the greatest basketball player ever.
They'll always be fans. All right, thanks a lot, Gil.